Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 87. I'm your host, Phebe Joi, and hi, hey, and welcome. Hey everybody, hi. We're here. Episode 2 of the video podcast. It's episode 87 of the podcast in general, but episode 2, or second one of the video, and here we are. I think the first one went pretty okay. I think it went okay. Thank you to those who popped over to YouTube to look at it. Like I said, I think most of my listens come from Spotify and they can watch the video on Spotify, but I did get a few views on my first video over there on YouTube. So if you haven't, go check it out. It's literally, it's the same thing if you just listen. But it's just now on YouTube as well. And what was really cool is I also figured out how to put all the other podcast episodes on YouTube. So one day, if you're just like, I want to binge from the very beginning, then you can just go onto the YouTube channel, which is simply Something About Tuesdays podcast. And you can go to the podcast section and all the podcasts from episode 1 all the way till today's episode they're up. They're not video podcasts. Well, they are. They're videos, but they're just, I think, just like the cover that says Something About Tuesdays on there. But the audio podcast, they're up on YouTube as well, which is kind of cool. I didn't even know that was a thing. The things you learn, right? So hey everybody. Hi. How have your last couple of weeks been? Hopefully good. Y'all, mine have been, I don't ever want to preface what the entire podcast will be about at the beginning because anyone could just write it off. But let me just say that in the last couple of weeks, so much wonderful good things and also a not so great thing with my little poo-poo, which is Fee's nickname, has just been a thing. And so I do have quite a bit to share with her. Now, she is not my end all be all. So there is definitely other things in life other than just her, but there's just been a lot of Fee things, life with Fee things. We've got life with Fee. We've got food segment. The very beginning, we're going to start with unintentionally a music segment. And then we even have had the PPPP this time, which was, what is it, you guys? How did I phrase it? Parenting. Look, this in your ears is probably driving you nuts. What is it? Powerful preaching, parenting parallels. Parenting parallels, powerful Anyway, you guys, y'all know what I was trying to do. When you have the parenting parallels in a quick little preaching moment, I've got one of those for you. But anyway, hi, y'all. Let's jump right in. Here we are. I do have things to say about the video podcast. One, so my cat's in here, and I've been so trying to set things up. My microphone is here as it has. You guys. I have my microphone and it's not plugged in. Why? Okay, we're gonna be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 87. I don't know if I'm going to attach it to the beginning or attach it to the end, but you guys, let me check my equipment. All right, I got my microphone. It's plugged in. It's on. It better be working. Y'all, I recorded the introduction to episode 87 and realized my microphone wasn't on. Oh my goodness. And I don't know if I'll re-record it or just use it and be like, this is real life video podcasting. Anyway. All right, you guys. First, okay, I had already said it before, but I'll say it again. Thank you to those who have watched on YouTube, who liked a video, who left a comment, and who subscribed on YouTube. You guys, that's so cool. And even who liked my little short. I'm learning how to do shorts and things. So thank you to those who've already started. What is that word I'm looking for? Who've already started interacting with me on there. I think that's way awesome. The other thing, so this was before I realized my microphone was off. I was pointing out to you that I had every intention to fix this pillow right here. If you're an audio listener, it's my leopard print pillow, and my cat. You can see an indent from where he was. He's in here. And you would think that I would remember to do so in between plugging my microphone and re-recording. And I didn't. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I think this is the way I'm going to look at it. Each episode of the video podcast is just going to get better and better and better, little bit by little bit. If this episode is better simply because I used my microphone, I turned it on this time, because last time I had my microphone, but it was a prop. Y'all know it was just a prop because I did not have that thing plugged in, but I do now, and it's working. Hopefully it sounds good. You all, how did I get this fixed? I asked my bestie Chat. Okay, I said, Chat, my microphone's not working. I plugged it in. It's not doing stuff. Apparently, I had to change the adapter to connect it to my phone. So I quickly Amazoned it last night and was like, Amazon, get it here, please. And I got here and it's working. And I think it's working. I think it sounds good. Hopefully, it sounds good to you. Hopefully, it's a little louder, a little clearer. Less echoey. I don't know. I got to play with it and figure it out, but hopefully it does sound pretty decent to you. And hey, if it doesn't, guess what? Each episode is going to get a little bit better. Next episode, this pillow is going to be fluffed correctly. Okay. But anyway, hi everyone. Welcome back. I'm so glad you came back. I'm glad you're back for video number 2, episode number 87. I'm pumped that you're here. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, and y'all, look. So I even have my handy dandy notes on my new iPad that my husband got me, because I was like, husband, I need to be able to edit stuff, and my phone isn't really doing it, and the desktop version costs money, and da 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 da. And my iPad, he's been wanting to honestly buy me a new iPad forever. I just put it off because I was like, I have no reason. I don't use it that often. But y'all, I didn't even realize my iPad is so old that, do you know how many gigabytes it had on it? I don't even think they sell iPads with this amount anymore. 32. 32 gigabytes on an iPad. I was like, that was all I had on there. And I figured that out when I went to go download an app, and it wouldn't let me. And I was like, what? I have no pictures on here. What do you mean? And literally, like, the iPad itself took up like all the storage and a few apps that I had on there, and that was it. But anyway, so he did order me a new iPad. We got that in. So yay for that. Got the notes on that. Got my new little adapter thingy overnighted. Actually, it wasn't overnighted, but it only took a day to get here, to get the microphone set up. So bit by bit, you guys, I bought this way back in the beginning when I thought I was going to video podcast a little sooner than 3 years later. One of those circle light things. Yeah, I might do that. Y'all, once we get the sound good, we're going to work on the visuals. Okay. We're going to work on the studio part. I say the studio. Honestly, I'm okay with the office setting. But the studio part, we're going to work on the visuals. Okay. Maybe, get these bags all, what do they do now? Where your face is like filtered. Yeah. Get a little filter, all that stuff on. We'll see. But until then, it's going to be raw and real. But anyway, you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead. I said jump right in, and I didn't. Let's jump right in. We're going to start with 2 Sundays ago. So this is, I think, the day after recording the first episode, the first video episode. And that morning I was feeling good because I, just recorded things, and I was like, yay. And so I believe I had to sing that Sunday. 2 Sundays ago, I think so. And so I was up early, and I think I had Fee with me, so maybe I didn't have to sing. But point is, so I was up early, and I was singing, listening to worship music, and just jamming. Oh, it was by myself because Fee wasn't with me. So I was getting ready, jamming in the closet, just to worship music, like listening to the songs for that day. I think Believe For It was on there on the schedule, but I didn't know it at the time. It's one of the songs I sing. But I was listening to... I can't think of which song it was, but I was listening to the songs for the day. Y'all, I am just chilling, listening to my music, and literally about to leave. I grab my phone, and all of a sudden, worship music. Think this is from like, Jesus, I love you, and goodbye yesterday, I'm living in the light. Like these are the songs. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Like that's where we were. And then all of a sudden I hear... I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. And I'm like, what? Like my brain, I was like, I don't even, what, where's that even from? And I looked down at my phone and I don't know when, okay, I do know when. You guys remember back in the day, not back in the day, I say it like so far, the beginning of the summer, end of the school year, when we had our field day and the teacher and we were in charge of the music station. Well, one of the songs the kids had requested was I Like to Move It from Madagascar. And so I remember looking it up on my phone to figure out which version it was. You guys, I don't know how, I haven't listened, I promise, I have not listened to that song since that field day. How did my finger find it in like the history of the songs that I've been listening to in my music history? I have no idea, but somehow my finger found it. And next thing you know, on my Sunday morning, I'm singing, I like to move it, move it. We like to move it. I was like, oh my goodness, Lord, I am so sorry. I like to move it for you, Lord. Okay, that spiritually way, not in a bad way. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. I just thought that was so funny. I was like, way to start my Sunday morning. You know, maybe some people need to listen to that. You know, at least that part. But anyway, because I don't know the lyrics to that whole song to say if it's scandalous or not. I mean, I know it was in Madagascar, but just because it's in a kids movie doesn't mean that there may not be some scandalous lyrics. Okay. But anyway, so I just thought that was funny because I was totally not prepared. I was not ready for that. I was trying to worship and get my mind ready for the Lord, and that came in and just kind of went like, hey. But anyway, all right, you guys. So speaking of music and singing, so I was recently told by my music minister that there was going to be a new song that I was going to be learning, that I was going to be able to lead. And the song is called Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. This is all part of kind of a music segment. It's called Ain't Seen Nothing Yet by Brandy Elsie. Pretty cool song. Fast. I usually don't do fast, so this is going to be new for me. But a fast song, high energy, and just a good song. You ain't seen nothing yet. You know, something like that. So, of course, I'm trying to practice for it. I was like, okay, great. I need to practice for this song. So this is, I don't know where Hubs was. I don't know if he was out running or something, but it was just me and Fee, and we were the only ones home. So when I'm the only one home is when I take the time to really practice songs, because then I can get as loud as I want to be without feeling awkward that my husband's there being like, what are you doing? You sound great, honey. And so I was like, okay, it's me and the Fee. So I hung out with her. I put her in her swing. She's looking tired, right? And I just start singing this song like loud, right? And I'm like trying to entertain her. And I'm like, what's the beginning of the song? I don't know, but there's this part there. Is there a problem our God cannot solve? No. Is there a storm that our God cannot calm? No. So I'm like getting into it, and Fee's face is like the straightest face. Straightest. And when I say this music is loud, I have it played on my phone loud because I'm trying to sing with it and sing over the soloist herself. And Fee is so unaffected. She is like, Mom, I'm used to this. Mama, this doesn't faze me. And I'm like singing my heart out to her. And she is falling asleep. And when I say I'm singing at the top of my lungs, this song has high parts that I can't reach. Like there's this one part that says, when Jesus says yes, or something like that. Like I literally can hit it, but I don't sound good. One of those notes. I'm like screaming this part. And my Fee is just eyes blinking, and she goes to sleep. She straight goes to sleep while I'm singing. I was like, girl, are you that bored of my voice? Do you hear me all the time that you do not care? But no, she's a great audience. I mean, she doesn't care if I sound good or bad. She would go to sleep. She was unbothered completely by all the notes and things. So shout out to my girl for being a good listener. Now, because we're already into the Life of Fee segment. That was like music segment merging into Life of Fee segment. And so now we're into Life of Fee. And the things that I want to share. Okay. First off, I don't even know how I want to start. We're to the point in my precious baby's life where changes happen weekly, and I am here for it. Like, you know how I've always heard that people say, parents say, whomever, that you don't get those moments back. And my goodness, that is so true. Um, Things come, they come quick. They come quick because just last Wednesday was Fee and I, it was our first time going to library story hour for babies. I don't think I mentioned it because since, oh, sorry, check my microphone. I don't think I mentioned it because it's been since the last episode, I'm sure. I think. If I mentioned it, skim over it, but I don't think I did. So we went to a story hour for babies. It was baby story time at the local library, and it's just an hour. Of course, I was 15 minutes late, but the first 30 minutes, there is a librarian or somebody from the library who you're in a big circle. Okay, so if you can picture, walk into just your regular old local library. There's a big room, and inside the room, there's like 20 to 30 moms, grandmas, even a couple dads in a big circle sitting on the floor with their babies on their laps. It's for babies 0 to 12 months. And then there's the person leading who's also part of the circle. And she has like a little stuffed animal that represents her baby. And so there she does poems, and a lot of them are interactive poems like hug the baby, hug, 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 or something like that. Or like, we lift our hands up and we lift our hands down and then we go round, around, stuff like that you do with your baby, which was so cool. Like I said, I was there like 15 minutes late, but I got there for at least 15 minutes of the full group thing. And so I took my Fee in, and she sat on my lap because Fee can't quite sit up or couldn't quite sit up, hint, hint, at this point. And she couldn't quite sit up on her own. But she's like leaning on me, so I was holding her most of the time. And then after the story time, they give little toys and let the kids play with the toys and let them kind of interact with each other, which babies interacting with each other is hilarious, especially a year or less. Because right now, they're just figuring out how things work. They're focused on what they want. And I saw so many toys grabbed from other babies, and some babies get upset, and then some babies just like move on. They're like, oh, that toy's gone. Let me find another one. It's like super cute. They were so cute. And then there were so many different stages. Like there were babies who crawled, babies who walked, babies who scooted. My baby could do none of those at the time, which is perfectly fine. But that's what they did. So the first 30 minutes was like, we're going to read together. She read a book to wrap it up. We're going to sing songs. And that was the first half. And then the second half was you get to play with each other as long as you wanted. You got to leave whenever and arrive whenever. And the babies got to play with each other. And Sophie, when it came to that socializing time, I had her like wave at the little kid next to us, which the youngest I saw there I talked to the mom, and he was 8 weeks old. I was like, oh, it's a little baby. And then we were next to a 4-month-old, which was twice the size of Fee. And then we were also there was a 13-month-old that was there. I was like, hey, 12 months, but it's fine. A couple, I think it had a 9-month-old was next to me. And then there's, like I said, all ranges in between there. And it was fun. We really enjoyed it. I was like, yay. And it was so spontaneous when I went because my sister had told me about it like last Monday. I'd known about it. I'd been looking stuff up, but she was like, hey, they have this thing. So Wednesday morning, I had Fee that night before. Hubs and I tried to take turns, getting up with her and watching her, stuff like that. So I had Fee the night before, and so at like 8 o'clock, she's like up and, waking up. And I was like, okay, I'm up too. And I checked my phone, and I just so happened to get an email from the library being like, hey, why don't, these are our events. Check out our events, see what you think. And I was like, oh, let me check out when that baby thing is. And I checked, and it was at 9:30. And I said, if we get up and get ready now, we could probably make it. And so we did. And it ended up being the cutest, most fun thing that I was like, I think I do want to, if I can, incorporate this into at least weekly or every other week. Because I saw that library hosted it, I think weekly. And I was like, this is something that I'd like to incorporate in my schedule. Because it's cute, it's fun, and I think it'd be good for Fee, to see other babies, even though she doesn't quite know who or what they are yet. So that was fun. So then, this is how I say so much can change in a week. From that Wednesday to this Wednesday, over the weekend, my baby, she learned how to like scoot, like almost crawl. She learned to like use both her hands to do that kind of back and forth motion. and she learned to kind of like scoot her legs forward. I was like, oh my goodness. And was it my mom or my husband? One of them was like, she learned that from seeing the other babies doing it. I was like, that is probably true. But she learned how to do that. And I was like, wow, yay. I can't believe it. Like in 1 week, I was like, is this really happening? It really is like day at a time. Like it just changes on you. Like, oh, here, now she's learning how to crawl. She still doesn't know how to roll from her back to her stomach, but she's learning how to crawl and sit up on her own. And so that was like so cool. So when we went back this past Wednesday, because we did, I was once again 15 minutes late, but you know what? I made it. When we went back this last Wednesday, when they had passed out the toys and everything, she couldn't crawl to the middle. She's not a crawler yet, but I got one of the toys and I put it a little distance in front of her, and she was able to scoot to it and grab it and of course put it in her mouth. So I was just like, that is so cool. I love that for my baby. It's just cool to see the growth, and she's growing like she's supposed to. It feels good. She's moving, she's growing, she's developing. And let me just go ahead and throw out there, that's connected to my PPPP. Powerful parenting parallel powerful preaching moment. Anyway, yes, so it was so cool to see her grow and to do that. And even she had just started grabbing her feet last week, and as of a couple days ago she's moved on and graduated to putting that same feet in her mouth, which is kind of gross. Her little toesies she's putting in her mouth. I'm like, honey, we don't, I mean, you do that. It's definitely part of your development, but it's still kind of like, ugh, especially her little sweaty feet, y'all. She got some sweaty feet. Enough that I was like, I'm going to ask the pediatrician about that, which I did, because she also had her 6-month appointment. I'm telling you guys, these last couple of weeks have been unintentionally fee-centered, which I guess that's going to be my life as I transition into stay-at-home momhood. It won't be my whole life, but it's definitely going to be a big part of it. And I love it. I love it. I love the fact that I can document this and that other people can hear about y'all. I know I'm just background noise, and that's perfectly fine. But it's cool to like share that, in case you get little tidbits out of there and be like, yeah, that's cool. Proud of you. Happy for you. Rejoice with those that rejoice. But anyway, so that just that much change in 1 week was just what I wanted to share, which is amazing. And I think about that too. I've been working on my diet, and I've been eating fewer calories, and I could tell when I stuck to it for a whole week, it did make a difference. Now, week 2 and 3, it definitely slowed down some, but it's making a difference. These little things, they're mattering. Call back to like the last 4 episodes, okay? But anyway, all right. So then that was last Wednesday. That was also last Sunday. That Monday, was it this past Monday? Okay, just kidding. That Wednesday we had prayer at church. The first Wednesday of every month, we have corporate prayer instead of a Bible study. So we had prayer. My husband couldn't attend that one, and so it was just me and Fee. And it was cool because sometimes, having a kid, you can pray, and then sometimes it's like, okay, Lord, you're going to have to, get with my brain because this child has taken all of my immediate attention. So anyway, but she kind of let me pray, and I was praying with her, and which is fun, which is cool to do. I mean, she's a baby, she's an infant, she doesn't know what I'm doing, she doesn't know what I'm saying, but I still want to say the things. And I was trying to not teach her, but pray to her the Lord's Prayer. And I was going through it because I remember being told and being taught how to pray the Lord's Prayer. And because we all, if you've been in Christendom at any point in time, then you know the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts or trespasses as we forgive our debtors or those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And that is the Lord's Prayer. The one that when they said, teach us how to pray, God, and he said that prayer. And then once it was preached to me or taught to me that you don't just recite the prayer, you got to pray the prayer. And I was like, what does that mean? And it was taught. I can't remember if it was my pastor who taught it or another minister who taught it, but essentially you take each section and you pray something specific. And I'll give you an example of how I do it. Just in case you want to deepen your prayer life. And this is just this is just how I do it. This is loosely based on how they taught it to me. So these are the things that like stuck to me and then how I interpret it. Okay. So there's like, our Father which art in heaven. And I was telling Fee, I was like, our Father which art in heaven. That's the one who loves you, the one who knows you. It's like a father, right? And he's in heaven. He's in a higher place. He sees you. He sees everything. And he wants to hear from you because he has a relationship with you. Like just that our Father which art in heaven has so much into it. And then, so I just mentioned those things, and then hallowed be your name. And I was like, okay, hallowed, that's the sacred, that's the beautiful, that's the things that we don't want to take for granted. It's holy is your name, hallowed is your name, sacred is your name. And I always say, I'm so grateful to know your name, because a lot of people believe in a God out there, but they don't know the name of that God, right? Which we know is Jesus. And so I was telling her this. I said, okay, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come and thy will be done. For thy kingdom come, I'm like, God has his kingdom. We are part of his kingdom. We are, if you are, a believer, you've been baptized and buried in his name. In Jesus' name, you receive the Holy Ghost, which she hasn't yet because she's, 6 months, but one day she will. Then you are part of his kingdom, and we want his kingdom to come. This is just part of it. God's kingdom is huge, and we want his will to be done. So whatever his will is, even if it's not the same as ours, we want his will, knowing that we can trust him and that his will is best. So that's the things. And I'm like, okay, and that's how we pray. And I was like, during this part, this is when we definitely pray those things that like, okay, God, we need your will. Guide us, lead us. Help me to do your will. Those things. So thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Because those things that be bound on earth and bound in heaven, loose on earth, loose in heaven, vice versa. And so I was like, we want God's will, right, to be done here on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread. I'm like, okay, so this can be taken a couple ways. I was like, our daily bread. I often say, Lord, give me what I need to be a reflection of you. Give me those things, the daily bread, your word, that I need to be more like you, to reflect you, be my daily bread. So I'd say it in that sense, like, God, let your word help me more like you. But also, this is where I need your provision. So this could be physical needs and spiritual needs and things that are going on in life that I'm like, God, I need you in this situation. This is my daily bread. Give us today our daily bread. And then forgive me of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And I'm like, we always have to ask God to forgive us, because even though we may not have explicit sins every day, we have sinful natures. And the minute we think we got it under control, all of a sudden we get tempted. And so I was like, ask God to forgive us. And I was telling her, I was like, forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors. Forgive us of those things that we say, that we think, that we feel that's contrary to your will. And I even throw out there, forgive us of weight. So these are things that aren't explicitly sins, but they can lead to sin. So these are the things that I'm like, so this has been taught to me. So I'm sharing this with my feet, and I will continue to share it with my feet. And like I said, I'm just sharing it with you just so you can have an idea. And so, and you may already know this, so my goodness, if you know this and you're like, oh my gosh, Phoebe, feel free to skip forward about 2 minutes. But if you're like, hey, reminder, hang tight, okay? So forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. Lead me not to those things that will separate me from you or from your power, your presence, or your will. Those things that look good, seem good, feel good, but are not good for me. And that's why I tell her, is like, we need to make sure that we stray far away from those things. So lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. And here's why I pray things like, deliver us from those things that will come against us physically, with our health, spiritually, come after our spirits, mentally, our minds. I pray for peace. Emotionally, I pray for joy. Socially, I pray for good relationships. God, keep us from those bad relationships, right? And give and bless us with those good relationships. And I say, and financially. So, deliver us from those things that would try to attack our finances, and bless us with those things that would. So I plead your blood over all of those things, and I pray for your favor in all of those areas, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, socially, financially, over all of it. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom. And we go back to, because you are the ruler of everything, and this is all about you ultimately anyway, and the power. And I say thank you for your power, because if anybody has the power to do it, it's Jesus. And I say, and continue to show me your power. I used to say that a lot. Just a side note, I remember when I was praying so hard for a kid and going through the situation of infertility. I had to say infertility, more struggles with fertility is what I say. I would always say, please, Lord, continue to show me your power, show me your power, show me how you can move in this situation. And the kingdom, the power, and the glory. May my life bring you glory ultimately. In all of the things I've prayed up to this point, let my life bring you glory. For that is kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. You are mine forever, and I am yours forever. Amen. Amen. Seal it. We're sealing it with an amen. Sending that prayer to heaven, right? And so I was able to share that with her, and it felt so good. And I said all that to say with you guys that sharing what's valuable to you and to your family, to your kids, oh my goodness, there's something special there. I don't know the effects of it. I don't know where it will end up. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I said, she's a kid and has no idea what I said, but I feel like if I can start now, then I can continue later. And that one day, if nothing else, she'll remember, yeah, my mom taught me the Lord's Prayer. And this is one way that I can pray, just something like that. So that was the significance of church prayer last time. And I don't know why that was the first time I thought about sharing that with her. I think it's just because it was just me and her. And I wanted to do like, if you're going to be here with me, let's pray together type thing. I mean, even though, like I said, she's 6 months, but, so that's just sharing the Lord's Prayer with her. And it made for a fantastic prayer. I really enjoyed doing that prayer with her. So that was that Wednesday. Okay. No, yes, so that was that Wednesday. I said it was Monday. That was that Wednesday. Then you guys, my poo. Okay, this next part of the podcast is sponsored by Amazon. Not really. Because my poo, she turned 6 months on the 3rd, right? July 3rd. And so I had no intention of celebrating her 6-month birthday. It's not really a birthday, right? It's a milestone, totally. But it's 6 months, whatever. I wasn't planning on doing anything until I was just cruising and perusing on Amazon, looking up clothes and things and baby stuff like I normally do. When I saw a half-month birthday outfit for a little girl, and I said, not half month, half year. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I said, there's half year birthday things. So of course I had to click on it. And I was like, oh, look at this cute little half year outfit. And then for just $10, you could get a half year birthday decoration set, which would have just the little banner thing. It would have something you can stick in a cake, and it would have a little birthday hat. Y'all, Amazon got me good because I said, you know what? For like $25 total, I can have this outfit and this whole setup. We're doing a half birthday for my fee. So like literally like that Tuesday, Wednesday or something, I was like, let's do this. Oh, I am so sorry, you guys. Look, I'm sitting here chilling, just talking. And I rubbed my eye, and it just had like, like my eye just looked really, I looked up and saw that looked really weird. I'm so sorry, video podcasters, people who are watching on the video. Anyway, so I was like, all right, Amazon, you got me. So I ordered that. And then, of course, because it is a half birthday, we got to have cake. But I didn't want a full cake because I am watching what I eat. And so I ordered 3 of the buntlet towers from Nothing But Cakes. And I ordered those 3 because my fee, as much as I love her, is not eating cake at 6 months. And so I bought that for the family. Now, sadly, my mom is out of town, but she will be back actually when this comes out. Yay, hi, Ma. I'm glad you're back. We missed Gigi. But I ordered that. I was like, let me just go ahead and put that in for the next day. And you guys, we had her little buntlet cakes. I invited just my dad, my sister, and my OG daughter, and Sido, and then my church brother, Evan, to come. I was like, we're just gonna keep it little. I said, I'm making a taco bar. That's what we're doing. So I did a taco bar. I had a ground beef as a meat, and I had fajita chicken as a meat, and then I had yellow rice, and I had soft taco, crunchy taco, and tortilla chips. I say homemade guacamole, fresh avocado with Kroger seasoning guacamole, which is my favorite seasoning of guacamole. I do not know why, but I love it. So I had that fresh guacamole. We did not have salsa because we forgot to get it twice. We went to the store twice and forgot it twice. I had lettuce and the cheese. We had cut up some peppers and some onions, and yeah, had just a lovely old taco bar. And my dad and everybody loved it. My sister came, she loved it. My poo, so she did not get to participate in the taco bar in the way that we all did, but because she's 6 months and we're slowly introducing more solid foods, I did give her some avocado and she seemed to enjoy it a little bit. I mean, she was like, okay, this is weird. Right now, she scrunches her eyes and makes a scrunchy face for like literally every little food we give her. And by food, I mean a little bit of banana, a little bit of the avocado, and some banana puree is what we've done so far. I added sweet potato. She really likes sweet potato puree. With that, everything else she kind of is like, huh, what's this? And she's more curious about. Sweet potato puree, she's feeling it. She is feeling it. And so sweet potato puree she liked, but at the time we just did avocado, and she enjoyed that. We sang to her, we ate the cake, we played Phase 10, which is great, y'all. So my church bro Evan, it was his first time or first couple of times playing, and he if you don't know, look up the rules. There's runs and there's sets and there's things. It's a card game. Well, you guys know that when you get a wild in a card game, it generally means like good things. Tell me why this boy done got like 4 wilds out of 10 cards for his first hand, right? And then continues to get like 2 to 3 wilds per hand. We were like, what kind of beginner's luck is this? And anyway, so we played Phase 10, which is fun. It's a long game. So if you're going to play it, be in it for the long haul. We stopped about an hour and a half in and we're like, okay, we'll call it quits here because Fee was getting tired and she needed a bath and needed to go to bed. But we did enjoy it. It's a fun one. It's one that can get, I wouldn't say too emotionally high, but just enough. You can become invested in what you're doing. You can become invested in the near misses and the close calls and the skipping people that you want to skip that maybe they should have been skipped or maybe they should have, or that you offended by skipping. So anyways, we played that. That was at her half birthday. It actually was fun to celebrate. I was like, you know what, whatever, why not? And it ended up being pretty fun. So that led to July 4th. Okay, let me shift in my chair. y'all, did y'all see that video of me moving around and shifting in my chair? So anyway, so that leads us to July 4th, which happy 250th birthday, America. You know what? You ain't perfect, but nobody is. And I'm proud to be an American. I am. We are, as everything. There are issues. There are major issues. There are minor issues. But I'm still very happy and proud to be an American and to be born in the US of A. And I am proud that we've made it to 250 years. That is a celebration. There won't be another amazing kind of thing until maybe 275, 300, 500 will be the next like real one. We won't be around then. I ain't gonna be around there. So, now the 275th, that's only 25 years from now. I'll be around for that one. But I'm just saying, hope, Lord willing. But I'm saying 250 is a big deal, right? And so happy 250th birthday, America. And all you fellow Americans out there with me, happy birthday to us in some way. Y'all, speaking of America and other countries, I have not been keeping up with the World Cup. That's all I have to say about it. But I've seen a lot of stuff on it. So that's good. That's cool. I'm glad the World Cup was here. It seems that a lot of people are enjoying America. Awesome. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it because that's all I know what to say about it. But anyway, so for for July 4th, our neighbors did a celebration. And so we popped on over and I was like, okay, this is going to be Fee's first experience with fireworks. And so they started the fireworks probably like 8 o'clock. So it wasn't dark, but you could still see them. Yeah. Remember how I said my daughter was completely unenthused when I was singing my song and singing it loud and proud? Y'all, she had that same face for these fireworks. First off, when they went off, you hear the big boom. Girl didn't move, didn't phase it. Like we were there. We were on the, they had a deck and they were out in their yard. They have like 8 acres. So they were like way out in their yard, but you could hear the big boom and, the booms didn't get her attention, which Okay, fine. But then we tried to like make her look up and like, look in the sky. Look at the sparkly things in the sky. Y'all, she was like, so what? And she cared a lot more about the plant that was right there next to us than she did about them fireworks. So then we were heading back to the house and more fireworks were happening. And she actually kind of noticed them. She looked up and she looked at them. And this was in her face. I was going to say this was her face. You know that silent sound? Yeah. Unenthused, straight faced. I was like, little girl. So maybe not this year. Maybe next year she will feel a little more enthusiastic. She'll feel some way about it. She may not like them. I don't know. This year she could have cared less either way. They didn't make her happy. They didn't make her sad, which is great. She went to bed. They didn't wake her up. Like she was fine. So I was like, okay, well, happy 4th, baby. No, she did get to celebrate her first 4th of July. So we got a picture, and that was about it. She was like, okay, I'm good. Yeah, good night, Mom and Dad. You guys enjoy. So 4th of July went well. I hope you had a good one too. Hope you were able to celebrate and do a little something fun. But anyway, so then, and you guys, I'm almost finished with my, all this is like life with Fee. This is life in general, but with Fee plugged in. So then you guys, I have to say, there was one night, I can't remember which night it was. I don't even know if it was night. It might have been like evening, maybe not night, because I don't think Fee or Hubs were like going to bed, but they were both asleep. Okay. So they were both asleep and Hubs was on the couch. Fee was in her room, maybe. I was still wandering around, but trying to be quiet because everybody's sleeping. Well, Fee was starting to wake up and I was like, okay, let me get some stuff together, get her bottle ready, and try my best not to wake the husband, because he's just right there on the couch. Okay, I don't know if anyone else has this. I won't call it a curse. I'm not going to claim that over me, but have a thing where anytime you try to be stealthy, you're just not gonna be. You just ain't gonna. If you're trying to be quiet, it ain't gonna happen. You know how y'all, I just knocked stuff over. You know how like in church where you're supposed to be quiet and then all of a sudden you got to cough? That's me. You know when you just laid the baby down and then again you have to cough? That's me. Okay, so you know when everybody's sleeping and you're trying to be quiet and you make all kinds of ruckus? That's me. Here's what happened. Okay, first things first. I went to go get the bottle. I dropped the bottle itself. So, okay, little noise. All right, so I picked up the bottle. We have an electric like bottle maker. So you just push the button and it mixes the water and the formula for you and puts in the bottle. Well, I picked up the bottle and I pushed the button, but I didn't have the bottle ready. I didn't have it directly under where it comes out, and it comes out immediately. So of course it spills onto the little tray that you would normally set the bottle on. But because I wasn't ready, my bottle wasn't there. So it spills onto the tray. Okay. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's make a splashing noise, whatever. So I'm like, okay. And by the way, when you have an electric bottle maker, it makes like a sound when it's making the bottle. So I drop the bottle. Then the sound, so boom, the sound of the electric maker, okay, the splashing of the formula onto the tray, which you can't hear, okay, but we're gonna pretend, okay. That's the sound. So then I'm like, oh my goodness, I go to get the tray. Okay, I go to get the tray because I gotta wash it off. Who drops the tray? Who drops the tray but me? So okay, I get the tray. Okay, I dropped that. So I dropped the bottle. I had the bottle washer go off when it wasn't ready. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. I dropped the tray that the water fell onto. Guess what? Or the formula. Now the formula is not only on the tray, but it's on the counter underneath it. So that's 2 things I got to clean now, okay? So I dropped the plate. I go to take it to the sink, okay? Y'all, I promise you I'm not making this up. I go to take it to the sink. I turn on the water, and on the tray, there's a plate that disconnects, okay? Tell me why I dropped the plate. I dropped the plate, okay? I dropped the plate, which is separate than the tray. It's on top of the tray. Okay, so I'm trying to rinse it and I can't even be quiet rinsing it. So you got the whoosh of the water that I'm turning on, and then you got the dropping of the plate, not the tray, but the plate. Okay, so I'm rinsing it. I'm like, it's fine, it's whatever. And so I picked that up, and then now I'm having to go over and I go to wipe off the counter, and I stick the tray back on, which of course that's not quiet. Okay, it's like tick, 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 tick. Oh, I hear my baby. I wonder if Hubs will get her. If not, we'll take a quick break and I'll go get her. So anyway, I go to put the tray in, okay, and of course that makes a click sound. Okay, so I've wiped things up. I put the tray back. I now have the bottle again. I have to run the machine for a second time. Whooshka, 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 whooshka. Okay, and it made it, which is fine. But of course, y'all, this might be the culprit. I had my phone in my hand. And of course, my phone was sticky because some of the formula got on my phone. So now I go back to the sink because I got to wipe off my phone, get the rag wet, wipe off my phone. I have the bottle, it is made, but I'm whooshing with the water again. And then you guys come to find out, in trying to clean my phone and move it, I promise you I'm not making this up. I had turned the light on, the flashlight, because I have it where if you push the button on the side, that's what it triggers. It turned it on. My husband didn't wake up. Thank you, Lord. Either that or he just laid there and pretended to be asleep. Because how do you not wake up to that? I was like, if I couldn't be a ninja if I wanted to be. I could be a spy if it was my heart's desire. I couldn't be anything that requires any measure of stealth because my goodness, I was like, how? I said, I have to write this down because people wouldn't believe me. You wouldn't believe, if you knew me, then you believe because this kind of stuff happens all the time to me. But I was like, I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to be quiet. And it was like just a comedy of errors, you guys, from the beginning. We drop the bottle, boom. We start the thing, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. We drop the tray, boom. We drop the plate on the tray, boom. We start the water, whoosh. We bring the tray back, click. We turn the bottle washer back on, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. We go back to the sink to clean my phone. So, swoosh, swoosh, wait, swish, swish. I can't remember the sound I did for that. And then we had the light on, just boom, blinding him. Yet he stayed asleep. Y'all. Anyway, I just had to say, does anybody else struggle with stealth? Does anybody else have problems with being quiet and sneaky? At least like I can't be a thief. I can't steal nothing from nobody's house because I would be caught red-handed. I would be caught trying to get in. I wouldn't have even made it to the stuff, okay? I'd be caught at the door or the window, wherever I tried to go. I would be caught. Okay. But anyway, I had to share that because I thought that was funny. I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I tried to be stealthy and it totally did not work. All right. So I'm wrapping up the life with fee segment. That's part of fee adjacent. Everything's fee adjacent. All right. The next thing is this, and that is, so my poo, she had her 6-month pediatrician appointment and it did go well. Ish. Okay. So I asked all kinds of questions. All my concerns were abated and she handled them and answered them and was like, okay, good. She said you can start feeding her, solids and giving her like what you guys eat little bit by little bit. So I have started doing that. Like I gave her a little bit of my eggs. I gave her a little bit of fish. Hubs let her gnaw on his pizza crust, which she really enjoyed, which I thought was hilarious. But anyway, but she also got her booster shots, which she handled well. She always does. She's handled all her shots well. But you guys, she's never had a response. And this time she got a fever. So this was like my first time with a really sick baby. And by really sick, I mean a vaccine-induced fever. So this is one that I'm like, okay, I know it's going to go away. I know this is her immune system working. So, this is a good thing. But I was like, my baby, because she was just crying and just like mopey and dreary, and my Fee is normally a smiley baby. She's a pretty happy baby, and she was just quiet and just like just so like, and my little mom heart was just like, no, my baby. And so the last couple of days, it's been a few days now. She's feeling better now. She is definitely feeling better now. But like the couple 48 hours after that appointment, she was feeling kind of bad. It was like, oh, my baby. And it was hard. And I can totally see where parents are like, oh my goodness, when my kid's sick, when my baby's sick and they can't tell you what's wrong, it's hard. And then even when you kind of know what's wrong, it's hard. And you just want to love on them and squeeze them. And that's what we did. We just loved on her and squeezed her. But it really is hard. It's hard seeing your kid being sick. And it's exciting when you see them kind of coming back to who they are and what they're doing, which she is now. And she's, like I said, she's back to sucking her toes. She's back to crawling around and practicing her standing against the couch. So that's good. But it was really, really tough there for a little bit. I was like, oh, my baby, my baby, my baby. But anyway, okay. So this leads to my PPPP, and then we'll move on. I have other things to share that aren't necessarily fee related. Let me think. Yeah, they're not fee related. Okay. So my powerful parenting parallel powerful preaching moment segment thing is this. Super simple. Super simple. So my Fee, as you know, has been practicing crawling and scooting. And I have to admit that as her parent, as someone who wants what's best for her, as someone who wants her to grow, as someone who sees where she is and where she can be, as someone who can see her present ability and her potential ability and what her future ability is. I sometimes set that toy, set that thing she really wants a little further away than what she thinks she can reach. Because then she ends up, she has some moments where she cries about it, she fusses about it, but then she ends up doing what she needs to do. She ends up moving and growing and practicing that muscle use that needs to grow. For her to be able to walk one day and run one day, she has to get through this crawling, this scooting stage. So I can't always give her things directly to her hands. Some things she's going to have to reach for. Some things she's going to have to push a little bit past what she's comfortable with, what feels good, what seems outside of her comfort zone, what seems a little further than she expected, in order for her to grow and become who she's supposed to be, which will be amazing. Now, I don't think I have to directly tell you how that relates to how I think God uses us and sees us sometimes and uses life and life situations to help us to grow. But if you just need to hear it, then I will say this. Sometimes things seem a little bit past our grasp. We think we're almost there. God, it's right there. Why can't you give it to me? Why can't you move this thing just a little closer? Why is it taking more time? Why is it taking more effort? Why is it taking more energy? Why is it making me uncomfortable? Why, God? You know what to do. You have the power to move this closer to me. Why won't you do it? And God's like, I just need you to stretch a little bit. I need you to move a little bit. I need you to use some muscles that you're going to use later. That right now it feels hard, but eventually it's going to be cake to you. It's going to be a walk in the park to you. Eventually, this crawling thing, this thing that seems so far away that you really want, when it's right there, it's going to come so easy to you. You're going to be like, wow, I didn't even know why I asked why. I don't even know how that was a thing, right? There are things in life that, gosh, we wish they came a little sooner, right? We wish they came a little easier. We wish they came with less effort. We wish it wasn't as hard as it felt and seems. And right now it is hard for her. It is. It is hard. It is hard for us. But we will get through it. We will reach that thing. God has put it in a place that when we reach it, it'll be the right time and the right place. He hasn't put it so far into the future, so far out of our grasp, so far out of our hands that we'll never get there. We will. It'll just take time, effort, energy, strength, prayer, whatever it is that God's wanting to work on you with and to build in you. That's what it's going to take. And that I can't tell you what that is. But anyway, so that's my PPPP real quick, okay? Just throwing that out there, y'all. Just giving you a little something that hopefully actually encourages you, okay? That if you're doing anything, if you're breathing, if each day is you breathing and that's you moving one step closer, you're getting one step closer. And to remind you that God isn't withholding, he doesn't withhold good things from us. Okay. It can feel like it, but he's not. All right. He has the bigger picture in mind. And so that's just a reminder. That was my PPPP real quick. But then, you guys, all right, I've got a few more things to share. We're getting through it. I'm glancing through my notes. I'm like, okay, we've made it. We've made it. All that's left are check-ins, okay? Closet renovation check-in. All right, you guys, I have made it through most of my closet. I haven't made it through my second closet. You're like, what? You know how you have a closet with the clothes that you wear currently, and you have a closet where you put literally everything else, like fall, like, you know, you switch out fall and winter clothes with spring and summer clothes and stuff like that. Mine have all kind of merged into clothes I wear most of the time and clothes I don't. So I do have a second closet, not near as full as my first closet, okay? But I've almost made it through my first closet of clothing, and I'm so excited. And I tell you what, it has like flipping that mindset to be like, I saw this video that was on overconsumption. It was a quick video. It was like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. And someone was just showing how like where like the clothes, even the clothes we donate goes to some poorer places. And there's just tons of clothes and it can feel like goodwill, but really you just see like, wow, we as a society, we overconsume. And y'all know I'm one. I'm speaking to myself here. I am one. I overconsume and I know that I do. And I want to work on it. So definitely thinking don't buy trends, buy staples has helped because I've gone shopping and I'm like, that is so cute. But I'm like, wait a minute. But is that something that's cute for a season? Is that something that's cute for this like couple year trend and then you're never going to wear it again? Skirt, like maybe not spend as much money on that, right? And think about your staples, think about quality, things that's going to last for a little bit because especially when you're trying to save money, it may cost you up front, but if it lasts for a while and if it's a staple, something that will still be relevant 10 years from now, boom. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, so we're working on that. I'm getting through the clothes part. And then y'all, I'm excited about the next part. Shoes, purses, and belts. Y'all, I have this big container of belts. I think I got two. Y'all, belts from when I was like, y'all, I have clothes. Let's roll back. I've got clothes and belts and stuff from when I was like 19, 20. Y'all, that's 16 years ago. Okay? 16? Just kidding. More than, no, that's 16. Yeah, because if I was 20, I'm only 36. Okay, good. 16 years ago. Okay? Which sounds crazy, but really, I have clothes. I threw out some clothes that legit I wore in college. College was 15 years ago. The end of college was 15 years ago. Okay? It may, first off, it don't fit. That's the other thing. I'm like, if I'm never going to get into it again, it has to go. All my extra smalls. Even if I'm like, I think I can, no. But like, there are some things that I'm like, that's still cute, but it was cute for a season. Like, sure, I could probably put it on and pull it off, but honestly, I don't think I want to wear the same clothes I wore when I was 20. I think there's good clothes now that I could switch it out with. You know what I mean? I don't know that I want to keep the same style that I had when I was 20. So I was like, you know what? Let's go. Let's toss it. And by toss, I mean I have my trash pile, like stuff that's just like, it needs to be in the trash. I got my donate pile. And then I have my like give to friends. Like, friends, this is really good quality. I just don't fit it, or it's, not my style anymore, but still good and relevant type clothes. So anyway, so I've done that. It's really changed, I think, the way I'm shopping-ish. I still want to shop, but I'm able to say no to some things. And like I said, next is coming up belts, because I have this big old container of belts that I've had since like forever. I don't think I've thrown away like a belt. And I've got belts that are like raggedy that I've still kept on. I'm like, girl, you gotta get rid of that. It's raggedy. You gotta let it go. So belts and shoes, because I've got tons of shoes. And the thing is, I'm like shoes like my clothes. I have bought like cheap shoes that I hang on to. Y'all, they falling apart. I'm still hanging on to them. Like, why? Girl, why? So I'm trying to revamp my shoes. Get me like a good solid pair of tennis shoes. Get me a good like little go-to. I can definitely still do some like pattern shoes because I want some leopard print shoes still. But like, and by shoes I mean sneakers at this point. I got tons of heels, tons of shoes, tons of flats, tons of little sneakers, tons of little things. Some of them I've literally not worn in years. needs to be tossed. I got some purses that just need to be gone. They just need to go. So that's the next part of my closet renovation. Hopefully I'm inspiring you to do the same. My husband actually came in because I was working on it today. He was like, you know what? You're influencing me. You're inspiring me. I think I want to get rid of some stuff too. I'm like, husband, you ain't got nothing to get rid of. Like your closet, this corner of your closet is literally all you have. He's like, but there's some things I still don't wear. I was like, if you get rid of anything, you don't have like 5 things left. But maybe he's feeling inspired, and so maybe you'll be inspired. Let me know. Let me know how your closet reno goes if you choose to do so. And if you have any cool little sayings, kind of like not trends but staples or something like that, that I can like keep in my mind, that can help with future purchases, or even things that can help with getting rid of stuff. You remember that one lady who used to be like, if it doesn't bring you joy, let it go, like little stuff like that. So that's that. The next thing that I wanted to check in with you guys. It is now mid-year, okay? We are in the second half of the year. If you made any type of resolution, how's it going? How'd it go? I didn't think I had made a resolution, so I went back and double checked the podcast notes, and apparently I did Q1 and Q2 resolutions. Q1, I said survive and enjoy newbornhood, which I totally did. January, February, March, I survived it, and I think I did enjoy it for what it was. And then for Q2, I said work on my physical, getting things back together. I just started that in the last month, but June was part of Q2. So yes, did that, dropped like 10 pounds. Woohoo, go me. And then the other thing that I wanted to do was to figure out a Bible plan, which I still need to work on. I've gotten much better at praying every day. I've gotten better. I've started fasting weekly again. And so now I still need to figure out a Bible plan, like something that I can stick to. That's the one area that's hard for me. If you have any ideas or suggestions, truly let me know. Because that's the hardest thing I think for me to do daily is Bible reading, which you think would be easy, but like, I don't know why. It's harder. So holler at me if you have any suggestions for that, because that would like to be my second half of the year. Q3, I don't really know what my plans are, other than coming up with a Bible plan, continuing my physical health, decluttering. I think this is maybe my decluttering quarter, where I just go through everything. Because honestly, after I finish that, I want to go through like my perfumes and my lotions that I never touch. And then imagine going through the whole house. My husband would love that. He would love that. He'd be like, yes, do it. I'll buy you whatever you want to help you declutter the house, right? So anywho, I think that might be Q3. Q3 might be decluttering thing, maybe moving into Q4. Even though definitely part of Q4 is enjoying the holidays with my Fee. Oh, because then she's going to be a year. I can't even think about that right now. Oh my goodness. I'm so ready for that. Anyway, so hopefully your New Year's resolutions are going well. If you didn't have any, that's okay. If you want to come up with some half-year ones, go ahead. If you want to come up with some quarterly ones like me, feel free to do so and let me know what they are. Maybe we can hold ourselves accountable. We will have to see. All right? Okay. Getting through it. Look, y'all, I have 4 more things to talk about. I see that I'm almost reaching my hour, and that's generally about like kind of where we pee, right? So, okay, quick, we will rapid fire these. Okay. Watermelon. Love it. I have a story with watermelon. First off, watermelon has been amazing this season. So good. Here's my story. Okay. I went to Kroger, Walmart, one of the two, to get watermelon. I went with my Sid. And I saw this beautiful half watermelon. I said, they sell half watermelons? It was the only one I saw. I was like, you know what? I don't want a whole watermelon. Let's do a half watermelon. I took the half watermelon all the way up to the register, scanned it, and it charged me for a whole watermelon. So I said, what's going on here? Why is this a whole watermelon? I looked at the half watermelon, and it said, display only. It's a real watermelon. They cut a real watermelon in half to show you what the inside looked like. It was not for sale. It was just the display. So guess whose embarrassed little self had to go run back to the watermelon section with the half watermelon just to, I promise you this isn't a lie, have the guy who was restocking the watermelon, nobody was there the first time, nobody was around, he was restocking the watermelon, saw me put back the display watermelon and have to grab a new one. He smiled and laughed a little bit. I smiled back and was like, gotta find me a good watermelon. What do you say to that? He knew exactly what happened. He knew I tried to buy that half watermelon. And I was like, this is so embarrassing. So I had to go all the way back up to the self-checkout where Sid was saving my spot to get a whole watermelon, because that half watermelon, it wasn't for sale. It was an anomaly. So yes, but watermelon has been good. I realized that if given the opportunity, I can eat a whole watermelon by myself across a couple days. I made myself wait a couple days, and it is amazing and it tastes good. In fact, y'all, just talking about it makes me want to go eat a watermelon. But anyway, okay, that was quick. Next thing, audiobooks on YouTube. Y'all, I know there's audiobooks in library, but sometimes you have to wait and put things on hold. Sometimes they don't have it. YouTube it. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if people are posting it with permission, but you can find audiobooks on YouTube. Life hack. Okay. Second thing. So I went to third thing. Second thing. I said second thing. Third thing. I went to a farmer's market today. A friend of mine's daughter was selling some things. She did a fantastic job. And while I was there, I did buy chocolate chip cookie and this thing called a banana pudding cookie. You guys, find one in your area. Find a banana pudding cookie. It was so good. It was good. And I didn't eat the whole thing because part of my trying to lose weight and watch what I eat, I just broke off a piece, ate that piece, and was good to go. You guys. And I only bought one chocolate chip cookie. There were 2 others there at least, maybe 3. I just bought the one. Now it was the big, like stuffed chocolate chip cookie, but I'm going to eat it over time, okay? Over days, because that's what we're doing right now. That's the season I'm in. We're working on the physical stuff, right? I will go back to being able to eat a whole cookie in a day, but for right now, I'm just breaking a piece off and I'm enjoying it. It was really good, but I'm not here to talk about the chocolate chip cookie, the banana pudding cookie. It was amazing. I can't remember the name of the place. I'd have to look to shout them out. I can't think of it because if they had an online website, I would tell you to do it. Oh, it was something with a P. But if I think of it, I'll plug it in somewhere. Maybe put it in the description. But amazing banana pudding cookie. If you haven't looked it up, find one near you. Google one. Go to the bakery. I'll try to put a link in the description if they have a website. But anyway, and then. Okay, so that was 1, that was 2, that was 3. Oh, y'all. Okay, real quick 4th of July story. So I was at the 4th of July party with my friends and our neighbors. And there was a moment at the party where me and this guy were both reaching for something good. We both reached and I was like, oh, I was the dessert section, right? It was a brownie. And I was like, oh, let me just grab this really quick. And he was like, yeah, no problem. I was like, aren't they just irresistible? And I took the brownie and I looked to see if he was going to grab the brownie. Nah, he grabbed the beer that was next to it. I was like, in my brain, I was like, we're going for the dessert. Isn't it good? Don't you just want a dessert? And he's like, sure, girl. Okay, we all have our vices, right? That was just a quick story that I thought was hilarious. I thought we were both reaching for the same thing. We were both reaching for something good in our eyes. We just had 2 different definitions of what was good. Okay. Last thing. Okay, last thing. Ladies' prayer. This past ladies' prayer, we're going to end on hopefully an encouraging, heartwarming moment. All right. This last ladies' prayer that I had this past Monday, I didn't have to speak at it, but I heard the lady who spoke at it. I was late, but I heard the end, and I had her share with me what she had shared. And she had a mirror, and on the mirror were different phrases like "you are loved," you have purpose. There was 4 things. I can't think of all 4 at the moment, but she was basically talking about, these are things that God feels about you. God loves you. God sees you. You have purpose. Things that I try to share all the time. And so in that moment, I had Fee with me because it was ladies' prayer, and I took her to the mirror and I was able to read those things to her. And I was like, you are loved. You are important. You are so special. And I walked around and prayed with her. And I was like, oh, she is. She's so great. She's so good. I love her. And then God reminded me, he said, oh, I love that you're doing that. But you are special too. And you are loved too. And you have purpose too. And I was like, oh, because in all my trying to love Fee, right now I'm trying to pour everything into Fee. In all my trying to love somebody else, God was like, hey, but don't forget, you are also loved. You also have purpose beyond what you're giving and doing to others. you have, I mean, that's definitely part of it, part of your purpose, but you are more than just the roles that you play. And I was like, oh, and and so that's what I want to end on. Just a really quick, especially if you're someone who's very loving, who gives love, who gives to others easily, loves to do so. You are like, I want to make sure you are seen. There are some people who are really good at that. They are so good at seeing other people, which is amazing. If you're one of those people, please continue to do that. Everybody needs to be seen, but be reminded that God sees you too. In your effort to love other people, remember that God loves you too, and you're just as deserving of it. And so I was just like, thanks God. I love that I love my kid, and I love that God loves my kid. But I'm glad that separate of God loving my kid, he also loves me. And that's cool. And so that's what I want to share with you. That separate of any role, any position, anything that you have, good roles, blessed roles, amazing roles, God still loves you. Period. So anyway, I just thought that was a cool thought. So I wanted to share that. Okay, I think we made it through. All right, you guys. We made it through I say episode 2, like I said, episode 87, but the second video podcast. I hope it sounded okay. I haven't listened to it yet. We will see. And I think we did good. I think so. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in. I do have to throw out there, if you haven't had a chance, check me out on YouTube, Something About Tuesdays podcast. You should see, it'll have the logo on. You literally have to type in the whole thing though, because obviously I'm so new and not even like you type in something and it will not pop up. You type in something about Tuesdays, something about Tuesdays podcast. There you go. That's how you find me. So check me out on YouTube. Give me a subscribe. I don't even know what that means and what it's for. I know that means like you can like get updated when there's videos. But that's it. But it's cool to be like, hey, have a subscriber. Sure. Like, I love it. I love it. Check out a video, go back and listen to old episodes. I don't know. Leave a review, leave a comment. I love reading those. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in. And I will catch y'all in a couple weeks.